Hello, I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that might take us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here is to seriously not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to the We Need Help podcast. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and today's book doesn't mince words with the title of Unfuck Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop.
This book is broken into 7 personal assertions that are labeled and then thoroughly broken down and explained in detail. 1, I am willing. 2, I am wired to win. 3, I got this. 4, I embrace uncertainty. 5, I am not my thoughts, I am what I do. 6, I am relentless. And 7, I expect nothing and accept everything.
Yeah, that's cool. So the author, who is, as we mentioned, Gary John Bishop, I was super annoyed right off the bat.
No, not you.
Yeah, me. So
No.
check it. Like, I don't know what's with dude authors, but like, okay, Aubrey Marcus, no Wikipedia or like whatever. I couldn't find much information. The only information I could find was like, here, watch my, videos or read my books or listen to my podcast. And then you can find out all about me. I don't have time for that. Like, give me the information. Same with him,
y'all.
Girl. Same with Gary John Bishop. Like, I could just find one paragraph that was the same over and over all through the internet. The female authors that we've read about, tons of stuff. Like, they're just all open. They just put it all out there. But for some reason, the male authors. So this is what I found out, that he was born and raised in Glasgow is how Americans say it. The Scottish say it Glasgow.
Glasgow? Wait. How that should be again?
So it's Glasgow.
Glasgow. Did I do okay?
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was never gonna go to Glasgow.
You're never gonna star in the remake of Braveheart, or actually you could, because they had horrible Scottish accents there too.
I think I can nail it.
So he was born and raised in Glasgow. He moved to the U.S. in 1997. This opened up his pathway to the world of personal development, specifically his
pathways to. His accent probably opened up some pathways.
I'm sure they did. Like, ooh, say it again.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you from again? Glasgow. Where are you from? Glasgow. Where?
Yeah. I've heard of Glasgow.
Is that the same as Glasgow?
Glasgow.
So personal development, specifically to ontology and phenomenology, which I have no idea what those are. So that's for the afterbirth.
Afterbirth. Oof.
Yeah. And then he was rigorously trained. I couldn't find out where he was rigorously trained in these fields, which I have no idea what they are. And then he was a senior program director with one of the world's leading personal development companies, which I also don't know what that is. And I couldn't find, he's not even on LinkedIn. Actually, I tried to type Gary John Bishop into LinkedIn, and there was like all these other guys from Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I was like, okay, like this is just not working. So
Gary, get it together, Gary.
Gary, give us something, okay?
Gary, a little something.
Gotta. I think that's how you say it.
Glasgow.
Gotta for Glasgow. So the only thing I know now is that he lives in Florida with his wife and 3 sons, but I don't know where in Florida. Like, he could be your neighbor, maybe.
He could fucking be my neighbor.
Just go around screaming, gotta.
From Glasgow, gotta.
Just go outside and scream it, and they're like,
fuck you.
He's just like, oi,
unfuck yourself.
So that's all I found out about him. So for the afterbirth, we have to find out what ontology and phenomenology are. For all of our listeners, afterbirth is the small section after our recording where we fact check. So
well,
there we go.
We use that term loosely and want to have no accountability on it. Thank you.
So yeah, anyway, how did you feel about like starting to read this book, the title?
Well, I personally felt like the title grabbed me
Yeah.
a little bit. I also found it to be the most interesting part of the book. Was that rude? I feel like that's like a compliment my aunt would give me.
I mean, he is smart. His shtick is very smart because I'm sure he sells tons of books just based on the title, because that's kind of something cool to have on your bookshelf. Like, ooh,
Okay,
Unfuck Yourself. What is that? You know, that's a book I would want on my bookshelf to show that I'm kind of a badass.
So do you know that a lot of people think because I use the word fuck frequently that I am interested in everything that has fuck on it. I can't tell you how many t-shirts people have bought me. They think because I use it in general conversation, because I find it to be a beautiful word, powerful word, that they think it's my hobby.
It's like people who collect little elephants or something, right?
Yeah, but that's like my hobby is the word fuck. It's not a thing, y'all.
Stop buying me fucking t-shirts.
It's not that I'm grateful that every time you see the word fuck, you think of me. But yeah, it's kind of a thing, I guess. I didn't mean for it to be. I don't want it to be. So what did you think? What did you think about this, the title?
I liked it. I thought it was I like straightforward and,
Me too.
To the point. And, I had high hopes. And then I thought, cool, Scottish accent. This is going to be fun to listen to.
I was thinking it was going to be like a Shrek movie. I was so excited.
Yeah, because we listen to we don't actually read. We listen to everything on Audible. Yeah, we don't know how. We try to choose books where it's read by the author. So I was like, ooh, Scottish accent. And then I remembered that I had a Scottish boyfriend for a really long time. And I did. His name was Stuart. And when I first met him, I had no idea what he was saying to me. And then slowly over the months, as I learned what he was saying to me, he became much less attractive. And that's sort of how this book went on. That's exactly what happened as this book went on.
I think you've pretty much framed the book.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Stuart, like Stuart, like the mouse.
There was nothing mousy about Stuart. I gotta tell. But he was also from Glasgow. And
did he wear the traditional skirt?
The kilt?
Yeah. No, I call it a skirt because Glasgow.
No, he didn't. But he was. His friends would all rip on me because I was like, "Oh, Glasgow!" I was so American, and they're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake,
guys, want to go to Glasgow?
I love Glasgow. My boyfriend's from Glasgow," and he'd be like, "For fuck's sake, it's Glasgow."
You're embarrassing me. You're like, "Well, wait till I get drunk."
Yeah.
It's going to be the least of your worries.
Yeah.
Stuart. Oh, I love it. You have to date a Scottish person to get as good an accent as you have.
Yeah, I did for a few months. And that's why I'm always grateful for my mistakes, because I always learn something. Thanks, Stu.
That's called the silver lining, people. Look for it already.
So today, what are we going to do today? We're going to go through all of the, Lizzy, when we were doing the intro to the book, read all of the 7 personal assertions. So that's like the affirmations. And we're going to go through all of them and just see how it goes.
Glasgow. Thanks, Gary. No, how did you say I have to say it? Gary.
Gotta.
Okay, gotta. All right, gotta. What do you got for us?
Well, first of all, he did talk a lot about this. I think it was like an hour of the book about this inner voice that we all have. Before he got into the 7 assertions or affirmations or whatever, he did talk about that inner voice, and because he's like, the person you talk to the most is yourself in your own head.
Oh, you have no idea, gotta.
So
you have no idea how much self-talk is happening up here. You fucking piece of shit. Fuck
you're so
you.
stupid. You're so stupid.
Fuck you. What a fucking idiot.
I hate you.
I hate you. I'm not going to play with you. I'm taking my Barbies and I'm
Don't
going
leave
home.
me. Don't leave me.
Don't leave me.
So yeah, I mean, based on the first hour or so, it seems like that's the main idea, that the reader needs to understand that self-talk needs to be positive and not negative. So.
Okay, so that could have taken 5 minutes. Don't be an asshole to yourself. All right, move on.
Yeah. So that was the thing. What is your self-talk? Are you nice to yourself when you?
No, I'm nasty.
Okay.
I'm pretty much, I'm the same bitch to me as I am to everyone else.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I spit in my own food.
And then send it back to yourself.
No, you know what? No, I bounce. I'm back and forth. I can, if I make I used to be a lot worse.
Okay.
Now I don't know if it's that I'm nicer to myself now. It's just, I don't care about as much.
Yeah.
So how about you?
I've become aware of it, because you're not even aware of like what you're saying to yourself. And this book did help in that regard, because I'm like, what is my inner voice saying? And very often my inner voice is one of fear, right? Like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and I'm like, what is that? Like, that's weird,
Yeah.
Yeah. So or sometimes anger at others. So my inner voice is like, fucking idiot.
Mine talks about a lot of people. Like, she is nasty. She's like,
yeah. So it's
how
kind of
fucking stupid do you have to be to put that there?
Yeah, it's a judgy inner voice. So that's it. So that made me kind of aware of it a little more. But a long time ago, one of my fiance's mentors was like talking to him, and he said, if it's not a loving thought, get rid of it. And I love that sentence. And it's not from this book, but it's from life. Like, if it's not a loving thought, get rid of it. So it just sort of made me more aware, like, are my thoughts beneficial? Like, what I'm thinking right now, is it beneficial or not? So just trying to keep that self-talk positive.
My favorite one when it comes to that is, worry is the most, I'm obviously going to kick this one's ass too, but worry is the least good use for your imagination. And I love that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like when I first had Scarlett, I was fucking terrified of everything. I had her dying around every corner, man.
Like, I'm just watching cartoons. You're like, oh.
Like, you're sleeping. I'm like, oh yeah, she's definitely gonna die. Like, she's definitely about to die. Yeah. It was a troubling time, I will say.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better with the worrying too.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this whole introduction of his was, his hour-long introduction was just keep your self-talk nice.
Yeah. Be nice to yourself.
Okay, great.
It's hard though. It is hard. I think it's
Yeah.
hard to be nice to myself. And they say that your inner voice, I don't know who they are. They are out there, lots of them. They say that your inner voice is your mother's voice. And if that's the case,
Ooh.
my mom, I would be so nice. My mom is like, she thinks my shit does not stink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I can do that is like, so I can definitely, like, that is not my inner voice, my mother.
Okay. It's a critical inner voice.
Mm-hmm. I think my mother is her mother's.
It skipped a generation. New research. We demand new research on this. All right. So basically, his first sort of affirmation was that I am willing. And that is basically the willingness to change something that's not working for you, which I loved. What did you love about that chapter?
Well, I changed that like a lot of years ago, and I love that it reminded me. And I think if you just did this one fucking thing, you would be this one thing in the whole book, it would change your life for the better. Because I've noticed the difference between obviously successful people, aka like people who are happy where they are in their marriage, happy where they are in their or relationship, or and in their career and in their position wherever they are. They are the people that say, I'm not willing to do that, or I am willing to do that.
And
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he did talk about that. He said, it depends on which is more powerful. So is it your willingness to change? But sometimes the unwillingness to continue to put up with something is stronger. So he's basically saying, whatever is stronger, just hang on to that.
Yes.
For me, my unwillingness is a lot stronger. Like, I'm unwilling to, be this unhealthy. That unwillingness is much stronger. Negative reinforcement is stronger in my case.
Yeah, I have to be going to something, I think, instead of away from something. I'm kind of that way. I think that's probably what makes us a really good team.
Yeah.
You and I, because we can look at it from the two different ways.
Yeah.
But I love the concept that if you just admit to yourself and everyone else that you're not willing to do something, or you are willing to do it, then you get from the passenger seat of your life to the driver's seat of your life.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. If you are not willing to do it, you're not willing to get any better, you're not willing to try, then that's your fucking choice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He said, this is a quote from this chapter, you have the life that you're willing to put up with. So that's it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy what we are willing to put up with until like we decide that we have a choice.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of, a lot of people in my family, they will say they can't do. They can't do. It's all about what they can't do. And if they would just decide that they have a choice on what they're willing to do or not willing to do, I think that their life would be a lot less out of control.
I love that. And I love just changing that sentence from I can't to I'm not willing to do that.
I'm not willing to.
Changes the whole thing.
It puts so much power in it.
Yeah.
I think that like if he would have just written a book about that, it might have not felt so long.
Yeah.
A little long.
Yeah. Another thing that bothered me about, and we're going to get on to more of the book, but he didn't provide very many, if any, personal examples. And that bugged me because I don't want you screaming theory at me in Scottish.
Yeah, it made it worse in Scottish.
Yeah, like I basically felt like I was getting yelled at in Scottish. Like
very angry Scottish
theorist. Like he's screaming at me and like
a donkey that could talk was screaming at us with a Scottish accent.
It was, sorry, Gary.
He's gonna be I know he's my neighbor. I just know it.
He's going to come knocking.
God. He is gonna be like putting bags of dog shit on my doorstep, light them on fire, and run.
Run.
Thank you.
Lizzy's Scottish accent always goes slightly Irish because her Irish genes are like so strong. They will like not allow any other from the Commonwealth. Like it's not even in. No, it's like Irish or death.
Irish or die. Irish or bust.
All right.
Sometimes it's like I can go from Australian to an Irish accent. Quick. It can happen quick. I don't know how it happens.
I can't do like Australian and South African and like those all get mixed up. So, but I can do Scottish. I just basically have to
South African.
I have to date whoever and then I can do the accent. So
sorry, Maciek. We're going to have to get a South African. Oh, you know who you could date is the guy who took over for the Daily Show, or not the Daily Show, the Daily Show. What's his name?
Yeah.
So attractive.
Okay.
And nice brain. I mean, you could always go back to Maciek. You don't have to. It's just a few months. It's a few months. Of your life
just for the accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
How else am I going to learn the accent, Maciek? He's like, why don't you try YouTube? I'm like, no, that's not going to work.
There's nothing good on YouTube. Okay?
Come on. What do you want me to know? This is easier.
I only watch our podcast on YouTube. Duh.
All right. Let's move on to the second affirmation or whatever, assertion, whatever. I am wired to win.
I think so. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What was the premise here? What was the whole premise of I am wired to win?
Well, he's basically saying whatever you're going towards, you're going to get it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So your brain is wired to win at whatever game you're playing. So choose the game you want to play. Our mindset is consistently building our future with 95% of our activity governed by our subconscious. So, I mean, I think of some of the times that I've been the biggest piece of shit, and I was trying pretty hard.
It just came naturally.
I was putting in a lot of effort to be that big of a piece of shit, I must admit.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? What's some of the ways you've won being a loser? When I wrote down the question, I was like, okay, can we do like a 24-hour podcast if we both answered this question?
That's a hard one. I mean, obviously when I was a drug addict, I was on autopilot and I was really good at scoring dope. I was really good at that. So that's, I guess, in a way, where your brain is wired, the goal is in mind. And that's it. I was programmed, and that was obviously a very negative thing, but that's an example that he gives. Like your brain is wired, like whatever your goal is. And I would wake up and be like, that's what I'm doing today.
I definitely, I've known several drug addicts in my life, and there is no stopping them.
No.
It's just not a thing.
Ain't no stopping this love.
Yeah.
So, he just basically says, like, you have to point yourself in the right direction, and so you can win at something like you consciously choose, right?
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah, because obviously if you're conscious, like here's where I've won at like being a loser, like Netflix marathon, where I'm like, I'm going to binge watch,
I am at binge watching.
So that's,
you have no idea. But sometimes I binge watch like that Efron, whatever his name is, that he did. We'll have to afterbirth this one, but it was all about health.
Oh,
Yeah,
Zac
on Netflix.
Efron?
So Zac Efron did this amazing show on Netflix. It was absolutely the best show, and like
Wow.
it. So I locked in. That was my goal, to be marathoning, but I also was super healthy by watching it.
Okay. Wow. Great.
Yes, yes. But what are your goals? Like, what are your, like, for this? Where are you pointed for this year?
Podcast.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's wired in. I'm locked in. I'm just,
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I am too. I was thinking about, I was like, oh yeah, we're like totally going in the right direction.
Yeah. So wired to win is just basically putting in your brain the positive goal that you want to achieve. So you can have that in your head. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it. All right. Topic 3. I got this. I got this.
I got this.
How would that be? Wait a second. You sound like you have a tumor in your throat.
I got this. I can't do it. I'm going to learn a Scottish accent for next time. You're going to be like, who is this? My ex-boyfriend?
Is that you, Stuart?
Oh, got this.
How'd you find me? So, I got this is basically saying that if something shitty is going on in your life at the moment and you step back to gain some perspective, you can see that you have dealt with your problems. You've dealt with 100% of your problems. You're still here. You have a long history of going through shit and making it out at the end. So basically you have no other choice. You're just going to keep moving forward, So that's what he's talking about here. Like, you got this,
Yeah, this is one of those like bumper sticker sections that I'm like, yeah, but sometimes really fucking bad things have happened that I wouldn't want to live through again.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, no, actually, I don't got this. Nobody's got this. This is this is unpredictable as fuck.
Yeah.
So like, I've made it across the street every time alive, but that still doesn't mean I shouldn't look.
Yeah.
Both ways, preferably. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm 100% survival rate, but let me tell you, these pieces are put back together and there are holes, man.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I heard him. And I think for like a 13-year-old, you got this.
Yeah, you've done it. You've survived 100% of your worst days.
Yeah.
You're like, I haven't had that many days.
I've been here for 15 minutes.
And then sometimes, like, I've had people that I've met that just haven't been through something horrible, and then something horrible happens. So this is kind of like,
could be really bad, guys.
Yeah,
I don't want to scare anybody, but life can turn pretty shitty. Like, sometimes you don't got it.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't got it. Sometimes other people got to get it for you because you're on the floor broken and people have to pick up the fucking pieces. So there you go.
1,000%. Yes.
Yeah. But you did say something that resonated with me that's important, just being a survivor. And I think rather than you got this, it was like, you will survive this. It would be like a much better title for the chapter because, there's been times where I hadn't gotten this, but I got through it. I did survive it. I survived it,
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Yeah. That's all I know of the song. That's all I got.
Yeah. It just reminds me, this is so silly, but, so my dog, every time we go in the car, and we go to the countryside, we've been doing it, like we're building a house in the countryside. So we've been doing it every weekend almost. We're building a home.
House.
We got this. So we put Cookie in the car, and she's nervous every time. And we always get there, and we're always safe. And she's always nervous, and it just kind of reminds me of like humans in life. Like we always get to the end of the day, it's always fine, but I always have anxiety that this time it's not going to work out, you know. And I think this is what he was saying. Like you're probably most likely going to get through it. So
I think Cookie just thinks you're a shitty driver.
she knows. She's like, I'm just
like,
waiting.
Oh God,
These idiots. These idiots.
She didn't even use her signal there. Slam on the brakes one more time, bitch.
I'm not wearing a seatbelt. I'm a dog. You guys are wearing seatbelts. That's why she's nervous.
Yeah, she's like, they're planning something and they don't have a seatbelt on me.
It's a good day to die.
She's like, is today the one?
Oh, man. So anything else from I Got This?
No, I didn't get it.
Yeah. I kind of got it, but
I got it. I think it would help Cookie.
Yeah. You got this, Cookie. You got this. All right. The next assertion or affirmation or whatever you want to call it is embrace uncertainty. So it's basically that fear of the unknown keeps you from trying, right? Like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. So I love uncertainty, so I could not relate to this at all. I thrive. I love when I don't know when it's going to happen. It's like exciting to me. So
I can't stand certainty. Yeah. I can't stand it. You don't know how many freaking relationships I've broken because they're boring. No, this is too predictable. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I have a saying, it'll be good or it will be funny.
Yeah.
Eventually. Like we're here stuck in Puerto Rico. Okay. For a couple of days, we're fine. It's going to be that time remember that time we were stuck in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Big deal. By the way, I'm in Puerto Rico, everybody. I'm in Puerto Rico. She's building a house and I'm in Puerto Rico.
We're fancy.
We're so fancy.
Yeah, I don't know. He basically just said certainty is an illusion. Sometimes you have to realize that the game has changed. You need to pivot, deal with your reality, rather than getting all dramatic about it. But I love pivoting. I'm like, woo, you know, I thrive in chaos.
So do I. I love it. Well, and I think that, you know, those who, if you look and do an inventory of people that thrive in uncertainty, you will find that they usually are the ones that have put themselves out there and gained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the ones that want things certain are, you know, they're a cunt here from locking themselves in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like that's like if you can't embrace uncertainty, you're closing doors quickly, you know? So yeah, everybody should embrace uncertainty because nothing's guaranteed. I like that he said that in there.
Yeah. And I mean, uncertainty, that's just reality. You know, that's it. You can plan all you want. You can plan like for this house that we're building, everything was planned. And COVID hit. So the materials went up 100%. The workers, like some of them were sick with COVID. The timelines all got messed up. You know, it happens.
COVID.
Thanks, COVID. And, you know, rather than being like, oh my God, you know, just, okay, deal with it. What can we do to deal with it? You know?
Well, and just admitting to yourself that there's good things that are happening because of it. Like, you know, you're getting to see it's taking a little bit longer. You're making other maybe mistakes that you would have, or you're fixing mistakes that you would have made because you can't get things as quickly. Or, you know, I'm just saying, like, there are positives to everything.
Yeah. And I
got a Scottish accent out of that relationship that failed.
Exactly. Hello? Exactly.
You didn't see that coming.
Yeah. And I think, you know, even with this house, like we because the timelines got moved, certain things, the builder actually said it's much better that we did it at this time, because if we did it in the winter, your floors would never dry right. So thank God it was moved, So we were like, okay,
God,
good. You're working
Thank
it.
you, God.
So
God's
yeah,
like, I'm up here dealing with like all kinds of viruses and AIDS and hunger. Oh, looks like this floor is going to be all messed up if I don't roll out this pandemic.
did you ever see there was this Saturday Night Live episode with what was his name? Phil Hartman, was that his name? He was like a real funny. Yeah, he was the funny guy.
A funny guy?
He was a funny guy on SNL. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
There was an episode where he started with when Sally Field was starring, and she would like pray to Jesus about everything. She's like, Jesus, please let these muffins turn out okay. Jesus, please let my daughter pass her math test. Jesus. And then Jesus like comes down and he's like, can you maybe not pray about everything? She's like, but what do you mean? And she was all like crying. It's a great one.
I always love like people be like, oh, thank God. I'm like, do you think she needs that much gratitude coming her way all the time?
Yeah. She's like, all right.
I'm like, I'm not trying to like split hairs, but I fucking gave you that cup of coffee. Unless you've changed my name to God. Okay, so moving on.
Moving on.
Got it.
The next affirmation is this one was my favorite. I am not my thoughts, I am what I do. And I loved that one. So this is basically
Scottish accent, please. Please.
I can't do certain words in Scottish accent.
Just skip those.
I'm not my thoughts, I am what I do.
That is glorious. That is so glorious.
So, yeah, I mean, he basically said the actions that you take make you who you are. You can change your life by doing and not thinking about doing. And I am 100% on board with that. My life changed. I was in therapy for 3 years, not doing anything except talking and thinking. And I almost went insane. And I quit therapy and I started just started changing my habits, taking actions that I didn't even want to do, that I didn't believe in, and my life started transforming. So I totally, completely, 100% was on board with this. Yeah.
One of my biggest pet peeves, I mean, of all the many of them, is when people talk about like how much they have to do.
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking about it? And ho-hashing and going over and making lists. Just fucking do it.
Yeah. That's so funny that you said that, because I remember when I first got sober, I got this list of suggestions to do, and I was kind of ho-humming, of course, because the little crackhead inside was like, no!
Don't kill me off. Don't kill me off.
My friend handed me a piece of paper that said JFDI. And I'm like, what? JFDI? Just fucking do it.
So true.
So I carry it around with me, JFDI. And it's true. And my favorite quote from this chapter, fuck how you feel, act. So that's it. Act despite the feeling. If I have to sit around waiting until I feel like doing something, I am never going to do it. I will never do it.
I'm right there with you. And I think that so many times, another thing, so many people call their children like an artist or my little artist or my little
pony,
whatever. My little. But if you put a name on yourself, I think it kind of restricts you too. Like especially like parents don't do that to your kids. There, I fixed your child.
Okay.
But don't you think, like, don't talk about what you are, just do what you do.
Yeah.
And, okay, the end on that one.
The end. But yeah, don't wait for the mood to strike. Just do it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, again, this whole book, it didn't reinvent the wheel for me. It just reminded me of stuff I already knew. So
Yeah.
yeah. And this one, next one, number 6 of the affirmations. I am relentless. I wanted to say that in the Scottish accent. I am relentless. So this is
so good.
Being relentless. It doesn't mean, and he said this, it doesn't mean charging into the fray head first, swinging and flailing your arms every which way, that sounds awesome. I want to charge into the fray head first, swinging and flailing my arms every which way.
If you guys go on YouTube right now, she's doing it.
This is me being relentless. I am relentless.
Oh, I'm relentless too. Oh.
No, it means focused, determined action. And for me, again and again and again, you know what? I got serious serial killer vibes from this sentence. Like, it's focused, determined action again and again and again. And I'm just picturing stabbing,
kill,
focused
kill.
rather than flailing. You focus.
Why is Gary trying to tell me to kill someone again
and again and again
and again?
But
yeah. Are you relentless? Are you a relentless person?
Well, that word for me sounds chaotic. Sounds like driven, like just like I don't give a fuck about anybody. I'm just relentless. But if I look at it in the focused, determined action, fall down 7, get up 8, then yes, I think I'm relentless. And I'm going to bring up a Winston Churchill quote that I love. If you're going through hell, keep going. And I think that's, I don't know if I would call it relentless. I would call it determined or resilient, maybe. Relentless just sounds a little crazy.
Definitely relentless.
You think you're relentless? You are relentless. Yes. Okay.
I am relentless.
Give us some examples of your relentlessness.
Well, this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've wanted it and I wasn't going to stop until I got it.
Yeah.
And like, I think that pretty much, I relentlessly go towards being happy. I do not relent. I do not stop until I achieve whatever it is I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just, sushi. Sometimes it's just, it can be anything, but when I decide that I want it, I am going to have it. And I decided a long time ago that I was going to live a life full of joy. Period. I was just not going to accept anything else. Mm-hmm. And I think I've relentlessly gone towards that and made that happen.
Yeah.
And even we were perfectly comfortable in that house that we just sold our house, and we were perfectly comfortable, and we could have been just had a very comfortable life there. But I just am not I wanted to move. I wanted to get another project going. I like that kind of progression, and I'm relentless about it. Mm-hmm. I'm always having to do something different. I'm always trying to better myself. And I think you are too. That's how this whole podcast started. Yeah. Us relentlessly trying to become our better selves.
Yeah. I think you're right. I'm always trying to move forward. No matter what happens, that fall down 7, get up 8. I will get up 8. Yes. I will not stay down. So I think for sure I'm relentless.
Yeah. Wait, what did I do? Did
you just do a pirate?
I did. I'm sorry, guys.
Lizzy. I think it's time to
Fuck
take a
me.
break. Should we take a break?
Shall we take a break?
I think we should take a break and tell our listeners about our fantastic Patreon account where you can support us if you want us to keep going, because we would love to keep going. And we hope you do. You want us to keep going too. So our Patreon account is www.patreon. It's patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast, written together. And you can support us for as little as $1 and as much as $10,000 a month.
Ooh, a month. Yes. I think that's fine. Or more if you want.
Or more. And all proceeds will go towards this podcast. We're probably going to choose a couple charities as well. So it's for a good cause. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. It's going to be Izzy's floors that she originally wanted.
Right. Italian tile ain't cheap, motherfucker. All right.
Let's go on break.
Let's take a Bansa break.
Bansa break. Welcome back.
Back from the Banta break.
Banta. Oh my God, I just looked at myself doing this in the mirror. Wow.
This is really embarrassing. All right. So what have we done so far? I am willing. I'm wired to win. I got this. I embrace uncertainty. I am not my thoughts. I am what I do. I am relentless. And the last but not least is I expect nothing and accept everything.
Again, another bumper sticker.
And he says, I hate bumper stickers, but he is full of them.
Yeah.
So basically this one is all about let go of how you think things should be and deal with how they are. So again, reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we would be disappointed less if we did that. I know that I expect things from people and it's let me down before.
Yeah. I think I'm in a bit of a conundrum when I'm hearing this one, because the whole book, he's screaming at me how I need to change. And then the last chapter, he's like, expect nothing, accept everything. So I'm like, what do you want from me?
I don't know what you want. I do think that when you don't give somebody, when you don't expect something from them, you don't trust them. And expectations are something that comes with trust. I can expect Jason to be a certain way because he is that way. I've learned to trust that he does these things, and I expect them because he's earned that, he's earned expectations or trust. I think it's a trust.
Yeah, but I think and he mentions this in the book, what's really important to remember is that human beings make mistakes. They're fallible. They will fuck up from time to time. And I just think to have the grace to not make it about my expectations, but just let them fuck up sometimes. Because even the perfect Jason is going to fuck up sometimes.
Perfect.
You are.
He does. And I do. I really am kind of bad at giving him grace that he gives me all the time. I expect him to read my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I get pissed when he hasn't. I'm like, So that was a reminder for that part of my life, because my mind went right to him when he said, if you expect someone, or no, that was a different quote that I wrote down, but he said, if you expect someone to read your mind and then they don't, and then you hold them accountable for it, that's a very, very, he didn't say toxic, which is what it is. It's a toxic trait.
Yeah.
And my mind went directly to what I do to Jason when he hasn't read my mind. Because he's constantly trying to read my mind. And it works out 99% of the time. But the 1%, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But so I'm going to try to change that with him because I can be so nasty about it.
Mhm.
And I do get my feelings hurt when people like, if it's all an inner dialogue, my own my own shit inside when I expect things from people and they don't even have it on their radar. It's not even there,
Mhm.
It's like, and I think that is one of my things I'm taking from this book is like just telling them if I feel something like that instead of getting all this resentment, that I get when I feel like someone's not, supporting me,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, in recovery, we have this a lot. Do not make other people your higher power. Don't do it
Yeah.
because people are fallible. That's the other thing, and I think I expected more from you. Like you did, really? I'm a human, so like,
Well, and
don't do
like,
that.
I don't know if the higher power thing, because God lets you down, folks. Like, I mean, and he made people like him or her, whatever. But so you let God off the hook for fucking famine and like everything known to man, but you're not going to let other people off the hook? That seems weird.
Yeah. 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 And I think, what he just talked about is, deal with it if you can, change it if you can. If you can't, what sense does it make getting really upset about something that you cannot change?
Right. Right.
And that's what he was talking about here. It's not like, because you read the title, expect nothing and accept everything. So I'm just supposed to lay here and be like, okay, but it's not about, it's not about that.
I accept nothing
Right.
and expect everything.
Yeah. Flip it and reverse it.
I don't accept that, Gary. Gara.
Expect everything except nothing. So I just think it's like, it is what it is, which I hate when people say that, but
I fucking hate that.
Yeah. And basically he this quote confused me too, because love the life you have, not the one you expected to have, which is his whole book is screaming at you to change your life if you don't like it. And then this one is like, love your life. So which one is it, Gary?
Gare.
Gare, come on. But I get it. I think what he's saying is if something's not working, try to change it. If you can't, just love it, so.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like this one. If you expect someone to treat you as you have them, it becomes an unspoken debt. And that was huge to me. Like, okay, like nobody is like, if you expect something because you've done it, then you've done it for the wrong fucking reasons, right?
Yeah, and that's we should do this book. It's about transactional love. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and it's all about like how like a lot of people view love as a transaction. You do this for me and then I do this for you, and it's almost like keeping a point system, which is ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's do that. But we're not going to do it next week.
No, what are we doing next week?
Next week we are doing the 5 love languages. The 5 love languages by another Gary.
We just love Garys. We just want to be able to have the chance to say gotta
Chapman.
Oh, I'm so excited about that because I've read articles on the internet about the 5 love languages, and I like know what mine are, but I haven't gone through the book.
She knows her own.
I know my own. I don't give a shit.
What? Like
I want the presents. I want it
I
all.
want the gifts.
Give me the gifts.
Give me stuff and do
I want all
acts of
this
service.
stuff.
Fuck me and fuck me, and then give me gifts and shower me with like compliments.
That's Lizzie's love language. Lizzie's love language has a lot of swear words in it.
Fuck me, and give me all the fucking presents. And fucking do things for me. And fucking worship me.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. What are you carrying forward? What helped you? What are you taking away from this book?
I don't ever want a Scottish lover. I thought I did after Outlander, and now it's like, no, I don't, in fact, want to go back in time and have a Scottish lover.
I'm so happy you realized that.
It's a realization is what it is.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start using more willing. I'm either willing or not willing.
You're going to use that language.
I'm gonna say those words when I decide to do or not to do something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I had one more. That's it, I guess.
Just gonna give up on life.
You know what? I'm accepting everything, okay?
Whatever.
I just think a whole country of people I've decided I don't want to sleep with is important.
I think so. Very important.
I will also not be going to Scotland ever.
Yeah. They won't let you in.
They're going to hate me.
They are.
Because if I know that somebody wouldn't want to sleep with me, it immediately offends me.
Okay. The whole country. What am I taking out of it?
What are you taking out of it?
I think, let's see. I think what I'm going to take out of it is what we talked about in the beginning, just not to have any negative self-talk. And he mentioned, I like that he had the science behind it, which is called neuroplasticity, which is basically, that your whole body, your brain is very affected by the language that you use to speak to yourself, that it can change your physiology. And so I'm going to remember that, actually, that your thoughts do carry weight. It's not just like, so I'm going to try to do what my Machik's mentor said. If it's not a loving thought, get rid of it. And I think this got me thinking about my thinking. And is this thought serving me? Is this thought giving me is this thought of benefit? So kind of just being aware of that. Like, are these thoughts beneficial to me? So that's what I'm taking away from this book.
That's a really good one. I love it.
Yeah, you're stealing it.
Fuck, why didn't I think of that? Fuck.
I'm such an idiot.
God, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, hate me.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for being with us for this fantastic episode of Unfuck Yourself. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them. And we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks, loves.
Bye.
Bye.